everybody. How are you all doing today? I hope that you are all well. Marlene, Marion, Nicole, Stacy, AGL. I see you guys all tuning in and I can see your faces. Cherie, if I miss anybody else, I apologize. And I also know not all cameras are switched on tonight. As you can see, I am a little bit fuzzy. I've had some major problems with my laptop. And so I am swapping two of the sessions just so that I can give you the best that I possibly can and come to you as clear as possible as well. I know that I'm so excited to be here with you guys, first of all. So I really would love this to be a very interactive thing. So I'm going to open the chat on the side, and please do drop me your comments, drop me your questions as we go on. I would love to hear from you. And I really want to know whether you want to respond in the group or whether you want to respond individually. I'm going to ask some questions. I'm just going to gather the information because these two bonus sessions are really for me to tailor, because although the course is already constructed, I really want to serve you. The point of this entire thing is to serve you guys as best as I possibly can. And so by gathering a little bit more information about you individually is going to help me serve you even better. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. Give me a thumbs up in the comments if you like that idea, if you agree with that idea, just so that I can see that we all on the same track. I'm fairly new to Zoom, and I've muted my mic and no video as I don't want anything going on in my world to disturb this. But LOL, I don't know if it's lots of love or laugh out loud, but I hope that means I can hear too. Let me know, Kyra, that's from Kyra. Kyra, let me know if you can hear us loud and clear and if you can see me. It would be great if you guys do keep yourselves on mute, just so that we don't kind of interrupt everybody. And if there is, during the Q&A, if somebody does want to speak or I do call you on to speak, then of course you would be called to unmute yourselves. So I can see, okay, great, there's comments coming through. Marlene, awesome, yes, thanks. Nicole, hello, Susanna. You are breaking up very badly, cannot understand you. Am I coming through clearly to you guys, to the other people? Cherie is saying perfect. Stacy, hi. Mahrasha, hello, that's perfect with a smile, wonderful. Marion, hello, Susanna from Krakow. Where is that? Thank you. I hear you and I see you. Yay! You've just broken up on me slightly. Okay, but can the rest of you hear me? Am I coming through? Oh my goodness, that is absolutely beautiful. Marion is showing me her view and it's of a gorgeous blue ocean. Very jealous. I have actually just flown up to Johannesburg. I'm seeing my family for the first time in 6 months. I have never not seen them for this amount of time. And it is so blistering cold that my lips, you can see they're all swollen. I look like Angelina Jolie at the moment. But it is so worth it just to spend time with my family. Yes, all fine from Sweden, wonderful. For me, the sound is fine. Okay, great. Mostly good. Okay, great. Okay, so we're going to get on with it. So I know we said we were going to do the Wheel of Life today. Did you guys get your wheel? Did everybody get your wheel? Just say I did in the comments below so that I know that you guys got your wheels. I did. Yes, I did. Cherie is feeling the cold in Joburg with me. Thank you, Cherie. I hope you're staying warm. I'm on staycation. So beautiful. I have the wheel. Okay, yes, I did. Thank you. Okay, great. I'm so glad that you guys got it. So I'm going to, in our next session, today I'm actually going to play you my video. It was the talk, my first talk that I ever did with Robin Banks called The Power of Forgiveness. And I'm going to play that for you because it gives you a bit more in depth of my story and also some of the healing that I went through so that you guys get more context. And then next week, I'm going to leave you with some questions. I would love you guys to answer them, but you can still send them to me. You can email them to me, or you can type them in the comments. You can do it private or you can do it public. I absolutely don't mind, but it really is for me to gauge where you are, what you're wanting to achieve, and so that I can really tailor this course, because sometimes the group is more focused on one of the areas, and then I want to give a little bit more focus, because then I can really serve you guys. I hope you guys get that, and I think you guys did. Okay, great. And then next week, based on that information, I will teach you the first technique of using this wheel of life so that we can get more clarity. And then the next week, we begin the work. And that is going to set you up for really going through a process of a couple of weeks of creating change, because that's what I want. I want you to create change in your lives, but I want to figure out what change you want to create. Makes sense? You can also just go like this, because I can see some of you. So if you guys, instead of typing, you can just give me like a little wave. Yes, Cherie, like that, exactly like that. AGL, that was almost a little wave I saw coming out there. Nicole, I can see the top of your head. Marlene, I can see a black screen. Okay, so yep. Okay, Marlene gave me a yep. Okay, perfect. All right, so we'll do that next week. The few things that I need you guys to know is, in the email you received, there was an invitation for a private Facebook group. That was the Kinstukiri Me Facebook group. That is for you alone. So it's just literally the people who are signed up to do the course are in that group. So you've been pre-approved on the group, so you just need to request to join and it'll activate you into the group. So please do that so that you guys can join in that group. There's a lot of reasons why we create these groups, but one of the things I absolutely loved about having this group last time was that there was such a wonderful bunch of like-minded people that were supporting each other, that were loving each other, that just were showing compassion and kindness. And that is the only rule, guys. The rules in that group are: be respectful, show compassion and kindness to everybody group. It is a safe space. There is no judgment in that group, because all of us have done things, have aspects of ourselves that we're not proud of. That group is about supporting you and going, I've done the same. I understand. I relate. Oh my goodness, that must have been difficult. I'm sending you love. I'm sending support. That is what that group is for. So I think my cousin's in the room. Something went flying behind me. Anyway, so that is what that group is for. So give me a yes if you guys get that in the comments below, because I want you guys all to not only go in there, but I want you to support each other. Yes. Okay, great. There are yeses coming up. I will also post this video in the group so that the people, because we are dealing with so many different time zones, that certain people will have missed this. And so they can watch this later. And if there's something that you miss and you want to rewatch, you'll be able to watch it in that group. So please make sure that you do join that group. Also, in terms of the time zones, I'm trying to work out the best time zones so that at least you can be live for most of the actual sessions. But because there's such a diverse group of people from all over the world, that's why I'm doing different times of the day to try and allow everybody to have an opportunity to be live at some point. But as you guys remember, we live in a world of energy and vibration. And so you really are getting the information exactly when you need it. So please don't worry about it. Whether you're watching this live or a recording of it, don't worry about it at all. And you can leave me questions in the comments and I will go into the group and I will interact with you guys. Okay, so that's the next thing. So next week we will be on at 11 a.m. on Tuesday. That's South African time. So just so that you guys can check that out. And then the next week will be at 8 p.m. South African time, because then that helps people that are more in the American sort of time zones. So that's how we're going to kind of rotate. So I hope that helps. But if you just watch your email, every week you will get an email at the end of the week giving you the time zone, giving you the link so that you guys are all prepped for the next session and telling you what you need. One of the things that I actually like to do with these, which I haven't done yet because I just printed it today to make sure that somebody switched on their mic. Let's try and get that mic on mute. Guys, if you're coming in now, won't you just please make sure you mute your mics? I have done a setting, but for some reason it's still not muting you all. Anyway, is I laminate this. I laminate this wheel, okay? And then I use those markers that you can actually rub off, like a whiteboard marker, because then you can use the same wheel over and over again. So you'll use the wheel for like a month because you're focusing on something specific. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you can wipe it off and you can use it for another month because you're focusing on something else. So you can either print out a bunch of these or you can do it like that. It's really up to you. Either way, like if you just do it for a month, you can take a photograph of it so that you can have a record of it. And you can always come back to that and then see how far you've come. That's also a great thing to do. So that's the other thing, just in preparation for next week. If you guys want to, you can laminate that. The private Facebook group for Thrive is a great Facebook group that you guys are also immediately invited to, and you're immediately added to it. And there's lots of bonus extras that happen in that Facebook group. So for one thing, Wendy Aitken, who is my business manager, she's fantastic. And she's actually a numerologist as well. And she does free numerology readings every Wednesday at 12:30 in that group. Every Wednesday morning, we also post a yoga video. So if you guys are wanting to just get moving and get fit, which is part of self-love, is looking after our physical body, you can dive into the Facebook group, and every Wednesday will be a lovely yoga session with Shani Quinn, who is phenomenal. She's so, so great. So please make sure you join that group. We also have other specials that run in that group and little things that happen. But just look out and you'll get that in the email. So you'll get information in the email. But for the month of September and for half of October, I'm really focusing on you guys. And so I am more than anything running this course with you guys and then popping into other places. But you guys are my focus. You are my first priority. So please do join that group though as well. Then what else? Oh, I had a lot of people asking. I know that financial is tough. I really, really do. And I get that. And as you guys know, I just want to include as many people as possible. So a few people did say to me, can I have a payment plan? Or I've got a friend who wants to join, but they can't really afford it. Please get in touch with Wendy. We're always open to helping you guys, you know, and if you've got friends that you want to bring. And if you would like to bring a friend, I will, as I said in the newsletter, give it to them at your $47. And if you want to make some of your $47 back, I will even give you a 20% commission. So just to help and spread as many people as possible into this phase of loving ourselves, loving our lives, and healing on all levels. So just remember that. And if you need a link or anything, you can email Wendy at thrive@susannakennedy.com. That's also in the email. So you've got all of that information. I completed the form on Facebook, but I can't see myself in the group. Please will you email Wendy if there's any technical glitches with the groups, just email Wendy, she'll sort you out straight away. Oh, there we go. Wendy's already on it. See, she's that good. She says, which group did you do that on? And she's already in that. Okay, so that was that. All right, now I'm going to ask you 3 questions just to kind of gauge where you guys are at. And you can, as I said, message me privately, or you can email me. But I'd like you to, even if it's a short answer these questions now, just so that I can gather a little bit of information. So the first question is, what made you sign up for this course? And just a very honest answer, like what made you sign up for this course specifically? And I'm going to give you a few, I'm going to give you like 2 minutes, and I'll even play you some beautiful music so that you guys can just take 2 minutes and really answer that question. But it's just so important for me to know where you guys are at and why you decided to join my course, because my mission is to serve you as best possible. Okay. So I hope you guys managed to write a few answers. I see that some of them are private, some of them are to everyone. That's great. That's perfect. The next question is, what are you hoping to achieve? What if you had one thing that you were really hoping to achieve, what would that one thing be? Kalaneha, you are here. So Kalaneha has been joining my Thrive Network live interviews since the Real Success Summit, and I've seen her very present constantly. Ah, there you are. Nice to see your face. And I've just seen your comments. So welcome. So lovely to see your face. Guys, that is something like I really love knowing my network. Like I love knowing you guys. I wish I had the time to literally have a cup of tea with every single person. It would be wonderful for me. Nicole, did you email me? I'm trying to think if it was you who emailed me, because there's a few Nicoles. And I'm looking at you now. Let me know if you did email me about my birthday bash. No, it wasn't you? Okay, it was another Nicole. Okay. Ah, oh, Marlene. All right, great. So surrender and forgiveness, you know, that's come up a few times, which is great, guys. That's great. There's quite a few through lines, which is so wonderful, because I really do believe that because we live in an energetic world, we attract collective consciousness, you know. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's like you get attracted to like-minded people, which is so beautiful. And so I already see some through lines coming through, which is so great. And also, I think that the video I'm going to share with you tonight is going to give you some deeper perspective, a wider perspective of some of the things we will be dealing with in the course. And so the last one is just simply, have you done any personal development before? And if so, what? Just so that I can also have a gauge on that. Marlene says there's too much to mention here. You know, I got such a lovely note from Michael. I wonder if Michael is online, because I can't see all of you, obviously. But he said that he might be a little bit late. But he also said he's done so many, but he's joining this, and I was so honored. So thank you for everyone that's new and everyone that has done this before. I really am so grateful to all of you. So thank you so much for joining me in this space. Okay. All right. I think I probably can now. How do I get rid of this? There we go. Okay. This seems to be my next step. Great. Yes, I have. Do yoga, piano, wonderful. Okay, so I think I've given you guys enough time to answer just those, and I'll go through them on my own later when I'm by myself. But I know I mentioned it to you, but Robin literally kept throwing me on stage when I worked with him as a producer, and it's amazing because I actually interviewed Robin. How I met him was I interviewed him, and he is now one of my best friends, and I really regard him as one of my mentors and coaches in life. And I think that we all need support wherever we go. So I honor you for being here, and I thank you. And I'm going to play you the first talk that I did with Robin that was like a full-length talk. And what we'll do is we'll do a Q&A afterwards so that you guys can ask some questions. And what I'd like you to also think about is, after watching the talk, what are the things in there that moved you the most, that kind of went, okay, that's going to be one of my focuses during the next 5 weeks, 6 weeks that we're going to be working together, so that you can send that to me, and so that I can really look at how I'm going to construct things so that they are absolutely best serving you. So get ready. I hope you guys remember to get something delicious to drink. I've just got some hot water and lemon, which is my norm, besides my cup of coffee in the morning. And we're going to sit back and we're going to watch this. I hope that you enjoyed. I am going to watch your comments in the side. So even during the talk, you can just type questions, comments down the side so that I can just keep track of everything that's happened. Okay, so lots of love. Enjoy. I'm going to just share my screen now. Let's put that up there.
I'm so excited to introduce I wanted her to bring her message to the world. I first met her in 2012. I think it was 13. 2013, I shared a stage with Richard Branson and many other speakers, and Susanna interviewed me. At the time I met her, she had very long black hair down to about the bottom of, the lower part of her back, and she was this bubbly, radiant being, and she was just full of energy. And she was supposed to come and join me at my next Mind Power course, and then I didn't hear from her. She just disappeared. I thought, how fascinating. And then I bumped into her just over a year and a half ago in Cape Town. And in fact, to be honest with you, I don't know if I actually told you this, Susanna, but Susanna came, she was like, oh, Robert, oh my goodness, how are you? And I saw this beautiful woman, and I'm like, fine. And I'm thinking, who are you? I have no idea who you are. And she was hugging me, very familiar. No, I'm kidding. But, and she was chatting, and now please understand, I meet lots of people. I meet people all the time. And so I'm trying to pin, while she's speaking, where do I know her from? And I'm like, yes. And so you've done the Mind Power. No, don't you remember? I didn't do the Mind Power. I got sick. And then she mentioned Richard Branson. And I'm like, Susanna Kennedy? And she was like, don't you recognize me? I'm like, well, hello. I mean, you've changed. She had short hair. Can't believe how much it's grown in a year and a half. And then I discovered that actually she had lupus and she almost died. She literally was on her deathbed and she had to go through chemotherapy. And she told me a story, I hope I'm not stealing her thunder, which I thought was so powerful, that she actually had to have chemotherapy. And they used to, they literally pumped it. And she says, this cold medicine that goes into your veins. And I said, how did you deal with it? She says, I just kept visualizing how beautiful this chemotherapy was and how it was transforming and healing my body. That's Mind Power. Because most people think, oh, chemotherapy, okay, how much? Quick. But if you actually start feeding your mind and accepting it, so her story is powerful. She told me about how she could hardly move, hardly speak. And today you will see a very vibrant, energetic woman who is completely healed. Her hair is growing and she's on a mission and she's on a purpose. And tonight is her first presentation. So, yeah. So I said to her, how are you doing this afternoon? She said, I'm nervous. I said, good. She got some butterflies. I said, it's good to have butterflies. Just make sure they fly in a straight line. That's your job. So I really think that we're in for a treat. And I'm really looking forward to hearing your message, Susanna. She truly has a gift. She's a natural speaker. I believe some people are natural speakers. I've seen her speak before. But she's got the right kind of energy. But more importantly, I think she's got a good message. So please would you help me welcome my good friend, my producer, the beautiful, the vibrant, the amazing Susanna Kennedy! Good morning.
Can I get volume on my mic? More? Up on your feet, everyone. Gotta get some energy back in the room. Let's get up on our feet and clap our hands. Thank you, Robert. And turn this way and give it a little shake.
And I think you ladies can get up and also shake your feet and just dance in your chairs.
Shoulders next to you.
Because you can also just get some energy in your bodies.
Woo! You guys on crust. And clap your hands. And jump like bunnies. I see you at the back there not jumping. I see your beautiful bunny back there. Good job.
That's a brilliant bunny.
Are you feeling warm? Are you sure? Have you danced enough? Oh, okay. And turn the other way.
Are you feeling happy?
Happy. Okay, we can bring the sound down.
Good.
You can all have a seat. Hello. really weird being the person that Robin's introducing, because I'm usually the person introducing him. How many of you have seen me introduce Robin before? Hello, old friends. Who hasn't seen me introduce Robin before? Okay, hello, new friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Who's not sure? I'm glad nobody's lying in this room tonight. As Robin said, I met Robin in 2013. It was at that stage of my life, I look back and I call that my previous life. It's like I've lived two lives in one body, and the one ended in 2013, 2014. It was a kind of a slow death. And then I started a new life at the beginning of 2014. One thing you must know is I've got a sense of humor, and I find the funny things, the funny side of everything. So don't look with gloom and loom at me and this story, because it really is a story of hope. And that if your soul is in alignment, and if it is right for you to be here, then you will be here no matter what happens. And all of you are here tonight, and that is for a reason. I always ask a question: what is the one thing that men and women throughout history have in common that have changed the world? The ones that know don't answer. Newbies, any ideas? Hope? Hope? Some don't have hope, but it's a good one. It's a good one. Shall I tell you? They take action. Yeah, they take action, because without action, nothing actually changes. And tonight, you guys could have been doing a million other things. You could have been out for dinner with friends. You could have been playing tennis. You could have been lying on your couch watching days of other people's lives, picking your nose, no judgment from me. But the truth is that you decided to come and be here tonight. And for that, I really honor you. It is my life's work to assist people in becoming the best versions of themselves that they can be, and also to help them live the best lives that they can live. And that's why when I bumped into Robin in Sea Point, I had chemo, so I had no hair basically, but he was so in alignment with what I want to do with my life. And actually, just before I came here tonight, because I am a bit nervous, to be honest, it's a big story to be telling, I just prayed. And when I pray to the universe, God, I believe all rivers run to the same ocean. So it's Buddha, Allah, Krishna, God, universe, angels, fairies, whoever's out there can lend me a hand. You know, it's all connected, and that's what I'm talking about. And I just prayed and I said, I hope that tonight I say things that touch your lives and can assist you to be inspired to either make some changes or to grow in some way. So that's what I'm hoping I will do here tonight. Be patient with me. This is my first time, and I will do my best to honor your presence here. What I would like you guys to do very quickly, though, is stand up and turn to the person next to you and just recognize that they made the effort to be here tonight, and give them a huge high five and say, "You are fantastic." And turn to the person
and I want
on the
you
other side
guys
and say,
to recognize
"You are
yourselves,
amazing."
because you are fantastic and you are amazing. So give yourselves a round of applause.
I have no doubt. Thank you. Okay, have a seat. I need to put my... Okay, now you see, there's all these things to do.
As you can see, I've never been technically that good, guys.
Forgiveness, Fred. There, okay. Let's see. Did it go? Okay. Oh, it's not plugged in, you're right. Is that right? Okay, so another man who I absolutely love and respect, and Robin was actually talking about him earlier, is our wonderful Nelson Mandela. There is another man, sorry, Robs. Sorry. Mr. Nelson Mandela. Am I clicking the clicker wrong now?
Okay, you touch this button.
See, I'm usually on the other side of this, and then I'm like in control. Okay, all right, now we're getting it. Okay, so Nelson Mandela was a fantastic, extraordinary human being. We all know this. But I really don't think that he made the decisions that he made thinking that he would have the impact that he had on this world. I think he had a deep desire to create change. And he was going to do what needed to be done to create that change no matter what. And one of the most powerful things that I think Mandela did, which made not only a huge change in this country, but also impacted the entire world and made them sit up and pay attention, was he forgave. Forgiveness is a huge, huge, huge gift, not only for the person you're giving it to, but also to yourself. And when he said this, as I walked out the door towards the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind me, I'd still be in prison. I want you to just think about that for a moment. How many of you are in prison at the moment? How many of you are holding on to something that is in the past, that is no longer actually relevant today, and is forcing you to live in the past and not actually live in the present and enjoy the future that is constantly coming towards you? Robin was talking about my past life. So see, I was a little bit of a schlebby, like, you know, one of those little schlebs that posed and stuff. There's old villa and, you know, lots of peeps, and there's Banks. See, my hair was super long back then. That's why he says he didn't recognize me. Anyway, in my past life, I had a radio show and I produced films, and I was living the life. I thought I was living my dream. It was amazing, you know. I would go to all these parties, be surrounded by amazing people. It was so much fun. But the reality was that something was bubbling inside. And when I met Robin and he said to me, you know, I'd love you to come to one of my talks. Please, will you join me? And I said, absolutely. And I fully intended to. But I was actually quite ill at the moment. And what Robin didn't know at that time is I was taking high dosages of cortisone and Schedule 7 painkillers just to be able to move. I had joint pain and my skin hurt. It hurt to swallow. And nobody could figure out what was wrong with me at the time. And I just kept going and putting on a brave face. But 2013 was an extremely challenging year because I got put on the wrong medication, which actually, I'm not going to tell you the whole story now, but in a nutshell, it caused me to have acute depression, and a depression to a point where I actually tried to take my own life. And this was the medication that was supposed to be helping me. So next thing I knew, I found myself in the cardiac ward, which I thought was quite funny and ironic because I had a broken heart and I was in the cardiac ward. So I saw the humor in it. I don't know if you guys do. Anyway, they wanted to lock me up in a psychiatric ward. That's what the doctors wanted to do. And my mom, being the incredibly brilliant, wise woman that she is, said, no, this is not my daughter. Something else is happening here. And she sent me to a secondary facility, and I spent 4 months in that secondary facility. And in those 4 months of being there, I was surrounded by drug addicts and people with psychological challenges. And I thought that was quite funny as well, because I've been putting addicts into rehab my whole life. And now I was in rehab with the addicts. So it's just funny how life turns things around. But during that time that I was in there was the first time in my life that I actually sat still. Before that, I'd been a complete workaholic, and, you know, I just worked and worked and worked to distract myself from things. And all of a sudden, I couldn't work to distract myself from things. And I went for counseling almost every day. And during that time, I started remembering things that I had long locked away. And I remembered that I'd been abused. And for me, it was a complete shock. I didn't remember this at all. And I remember telling my best friend, I was like, shit, I have to tell you something. And she was like, I know. Everybody else remembered but me. I couldn't deal with it, so I'd locked it away. At the time, I was also doing some work. I don't know if any of you know Debbie Ford. Anyone in the audience done her work? She is spectacular. She's passed away now, but her work is spectacular. I highly recommend you all getting her books. Well, if you like to read, there's The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. If you don't and you like to watch videos like Banks or listen to an audio, then The Shadow Effect. And basically Debbie Ford's whole thing is that if we don't accept every part of us, because the whole universe exists in every part of us. I think I can go back. I love that the whole universe exists in us. I mean, look, this is a brain cell. This is the universe. This is the birth of a cell. This is the death of a cell. Look at the symmetry. This is an eye. This is a nebula. The entire universe exists in every single one of us. And that's amazing. It's incredible. It's miraculous. But what a lot of people forget to do is embrace the dark. You see, because where there's light, there's also dark. And if you don't embrace your dark side, if you keep shoving it away and hiding it, am I in your way? The light chasers. If you keep shoving that dark side away, eventually it's going to pop up. And it's gonna hit you in the face, actually. And it happens all the time. Think about things that you attract into your reality. Robert, you guys have done, the majority of you have done the Mind Power course. You attract things into your reality. Often we attract things that we need to deal with ourselves. So watch when you say, that arrogant son of a beep, 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 beep. Where have you been arrogant? Where are you doing the same thing? Where do you need to look at yourself? And my counselor at the time was amazing. His name was Gus. And he said to me, Susanna, where have you been abusive? Where are you abusive? Because you've attracted so much of it into your life. And I actually got pissed off. Please excuse my language, by the way. If anyone gets offended, I'm really sorry. I will swear every once in a while. I hope it won't be too bad. So he said, where have you been abusive? And I was like, Gus, are you mad? I said, I've never consciously, and I can say this honestly, hurt another living thing in my whole life. I step over ants, for crying out loud. And now you're telling me I'm abusive? He said, go away and think about it. I said, okay, fine. So I went away and fuming and really cross and thought about it and really dug deep. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks in my chest. I realized I'd been so abusive my whole life. And it was to myself. I'd been never good enough. I was never smart enough. I was never pretty enough. I never achieved enough. I was horrible to my body. And in that moment, the only way I can explain it is that myself and my body split. And my body said, bleep you. I'm not letting you do this anymore. Anyway, at the time, I'd been put on some medication called Simgen, and it had finally started masking the symptoms. So I was able to function again, which was fantastic. I was able to run, I was able to exercise, I was able to talk, I had clarity of mind. It seemed like my life was coming together. And what I didn't tell you earlier on is back in those days where I was all schlevy and all of that and interviewing people, I met a guy. You know, when you meet this other person and there's like this big spark and you just feel this real connection. And that's how we felt about each other. It was like palpable. People kind of, you know, when they turn around, it's like, what's going on back there? You know, that's what it was like. And anyway, he was in a relationship at the time and I have very strict moral rules. So neither of us, and he did too, so neither of us ever acted on it. But as I came out of the rehab facility, I got a call from him out of the blue. And he said, listen, I've started this project and I know you want to help people and I know you want to, you know, make people live good lives and I think you'd be perfect for it. Are you free? And I was like, yes, absolutely. This is amazing. This is what I've been waiting for. And plus, I'm no longer with my ex. I was like, sweet. I was very happy about that. And so we spoke on the phone for about a month and a half. And plotted and planned. And you know how it goes, girls especially, guys, you're not so bad at this, but girls, we like start planning ahead, like the marriage and the kids and the old age and, you know, all of that. It all happened, yeah, in my mind. And then he flew out to South Africa, and he lives in England, and he flew out to South Africa, and we went away for a weekend with friends. So it wasn't like just a one-on-one romantic, you know, thing. It was with friends, and we had that night, you know, the night, girls and guys, where you sit up all night and you tell each other your deepest, darkest secrets and realize that every single thing that you've ever been looking for in a human being is right there in front of you. In fact, I felt like we pulled out our lists. You know, you make a list, you know, that you tick off. We pulled out our lists, and he ticked everything in mine, and I ticked everything in his. And in fact, when he explained the house that he had built, my library was in that house. I was like, thank you. I'm moving up. This is great. Anyway, those 2 days ended, and I needed to go and spend Christmas with my family, and he needed to go to spend Christmas with his family. And we kept in touch and we kept in touch. And I started getting sore again. I started feeling the pain returning to my body. And this time it was different. Before, I knew that I was in trouble, but this time I knew I was dying. I could feel it. And so I decided to be a coward. And I sent him a message and said, this isn't going to work. I think we should just be friends, because I didn't want him to go through watching me disintegrate. And I prayed, and yes, I've got such a connection to Source, but I prayed and I said, God, Allah, Buddha, Krishna, Jesus, Mary, fairies, anyone out there, I know I've stuffed up, because I totally believe in the mind-body connection, and I'd been horrible to myself. So I said, I know I've stuffed up, but I really want to stay. And I promise if you let me stay, I will make it worthwhile. But at the same time, if it is my time to go, then I will accept that gracefully. And that was my first true moment of surrender. I didn't know what surrender meant before that. But what it really means is giving over the outcome, but doing your best in the meantime. Within 2 weeks, I was in ICU. I was having brain seizures. My organs were near failing. I'm a very big overachiever. Most people get lupus in one organ. I decided to get it in every single organ except my heart. So they were really panicking. They didn't know what they were going to do. And in the meantime, every waking moment that I had, anything that I saw or heard, I would tell my mom that I needed to get it done, you know? And he was messaging me and messaging me and messaging me, and I couldn't respond. What was I going to say? You know, but he kept messaging and phoning. Plus I couldn't really see or hold a phone, but I could hear the messages and I kept getting told. So eventually I told my best friend, I was like, just tell him I can't speak. Just tell him that I can't be there right now. I'm not in a state to be there. And the next thing I knew, I opened my eyes and there was the most, I hope it's the next slide, the most ridiculous bunch of flowers I'd ever seen. It was embarrassingly huge, and I felt so blessed, and I thought, oh wow, he is still thinking of me. But this is where I was. That was the reality. Anyway, I was actually fine the whole time that I was sick, by the way. I know that sounds weird. I was in extreme agony, but my spirit was fine. The only thing I found difficult was watching my parents suffer and the people I loved. that broke my heart. But the rest of the time I was actually okay. I wasn't suffering. It was just 2 days that I really suffered. And it was because I've got these tiny, I don't know if you guys can see, but little miniature veins. They're not very helpful when you need to stay on a trip 24/7 to be kept alive. And they usually use children's needles for my veins. But from being in ICU and all of this, everything had just exploded. It was like a battlefield, my poor body. And let me paint you a picture actually. So battlefield arms and legs, and then very skinny and gaunt, hair down to here, dirty in a plait, big rings under my eyes, very gaunt and like no color in my face. And then from the waist down, something magical happens when you take cortisone. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but I became a toddler from the waist down, like literally a toddler. From here down, I was a size 6, I was a 12, a size 12. I even had, the fold? You know the fold that toddlers have? I had that fold and cankles, hairy cankles. I was really my worst self. And that night, after my veins were doing their thing, and I insisted that they carry on trying getting this needle in my vein because they wanted to put one of those, what they called? Shunt. And that freaked me out a bit. I was like, I don't want to shunt and so I was like, no, you keep going. So it took 5 hours for the nurses to finally get my veins not to explode. And I've still got a tiny scar here because that's where they got it eventually. And I almost strapped my arm to the bed so that it wouldn't move because I was so scared that I would pull it out or it would explode or something. So I hadn't slept, and I woke up the next morning, and the physio came and he assisted me and walked just a few meters every day just to try and keep things going. And I remember walking down the passage and through this haze, because I couldn't see, with my oxygen mask on and everything, I saw this silhouette. And I was like, shit. Please don't let this be him. But he walked towards me, and I slumped into his shoulder, and I just cried, and it was him. And he took me back to my room, and I sat there, and I couldn't talk much. I was just, in like the not pretty hot mess where it's like just snot, and that was what I was, sitting there saying, well, sorry you've come all the way from England to see this, but I'm having emergency chemo. It's the last resort. It's the last chance I have of anything working, and I start tomorrow, which means I'm not going to be able to have kids because it's very likely that I'm going to be infertile. And so, I'm glad you came, but, sorry you wasted your ticket. And he was like, no, I'm going to get you the best doctors, and we'll hire fertility specialists. And if that doesn't work, we'll adopt. And I was like, what? And I thought, this can't be real. And he was like, it is. And I must be honest, by the time he left, I had some glint of hope in me, that this guy was for real, that this was going to actually happen, and that maybe the chemo would work, and then maybe I would, move to England, and then he would come to Cape Town half the time because I love Cape Town summers, and I would have that library, and we would have kids and all these things. The next day, I had my first course of chemo. The night before, by the way, I did a John of God healing. I combined I didn't only do chemo to get better. I combined a whole lot of things that the universe truly guided me to do, which I can share with you another time. But that day I started my chemo, and because I was so weak and my veins were just not behaving themselves, it took 9 hours to do that first chemo. And Robin explained it somewhat, but I had to make peace with it because I was a homeopathic baby. I don't know if any of you are into the natural way of things, but, before I got sick, I was like, this is the way you do things. And when I surrendered, I always tell that joke. I don't know if you guys know the joke about the guy in the flood. there's a guy in the flood and he's climbing the tree, and this dinky boat comes along. They're like, come on, come on. And he's like, no, don't worry, God's going to save me. And this ship comes along and they're like, climb on, climb on. He's like, no, don't worry, God's going to save me. And he gets to the tip of the tree and he's hanging on the branch. And this helicopter comes and they put down the rope ladder and they go, climb up, climb up. And he's like, don't worry, guys, God's going to save me. And he drowns. And then he goes to heaven and he's like, God, why didn't you save me? And he says, I sent you a dinky boat, I sent you a ship, I sent you a helicopter. Why don't you climb on? You know, a lot of us walk around through life going, this is the way we do things, you know? I challenge you all to take those blinkers off and just start paying attention to what the universe brings you, because it will bring you gifts beyond your wildest imagination if you do. And that's what I did. So I did the chemo and I made peace with it. I pictured it as white light. It was ice cold, and it really doesn't feel great when you have chemo. But I felt this ice cold stuff, and I hate being cold, going into my veins. And I thought, okay, I have to make friends with you. Okay, you're a beautiful white light, and you're coming into my veins, and you are healing me as you go. And that's how I made friends with it. Anyway, I didn't hear from, I'm calling him Fred, just by the way, just to not give away names. I didn't hear from him the next day, or that day, or the week after. And so I sent him a message and I said, look, I know that was huge. It was a lot, you know, to swallow. I really am looking fantastic at the moment. And I understand why you're so attracted to me in that situation. But I would really love to hear from you. Nothing. 2 weeks later, nothing. So I sent him another message and I was like, hi, I know it was a lot to swallow, but please just contact me. Nothing. And then I saw a picture on Facebook. God bless social media. And on social media, I saw this picture of him and this other beautiful woman. And I sent him a message and I said, please, can we just at least talk? I just need some closure. You know, and nothing. Anyway, a little while later, he came to South Africa and I knew he was here. And so I sent him a message. I said, please, can we just see each other and talk? And he said, sorry, I don't have time, but follow me on social media. I'm about to go off with, you know, whatever her name was, to go and do what we were supposed to do. And I was like, it takes a lot for me to get upset, but once I do, that's my shadow. I have a sharp tongue, a very sharp tongue. And yes, it takes a hell of a lot to get me there, but once it's there, I feel terrible afterwards. It is my shadow. Anyway, I was reading at the time. What was I reading at the time? Oh, this is what I was reading at the time. A Course in Miracles, which is another phenomenal book. If you guys can get through it, it's about this thick. If you can't get through books that thick, I recommend A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. And in A Return to Love, I hadn't done a Mind Power course. I didn't know about weeding and all of those things yet. But she's got this thing when you are desperate and you can't get something off your mind, give it to God. You know, and it's up to you guys. You can call it Buddha, Allah, Krishna, the universe, you know, whatever it is, but give it away. And the saying goes, God, take this monkey off my back. And you can even just say, take this monkey off my back. And so I took Fred off my back like that. I literally just repeated, take this monkey off my back, take this monkey off my back. The thing is, with the universe, it's got your best interests at heart. Sometimes that's a real ball ache because it makes you face things you don't want to face, you know? And so a year later, there I am, happily back on my feet. The doctors thought that if I got into remission, it would take 18 to 24 months of chemo. 5 months later, I was in remission. So I had accelerated the healing process because I was doing my best. I did all kinds of things. And I was on my feet and I was trying this and I was trying that. And then I bumped into Banks and I was like, yay, now I've got like purpose again. It's fantastic. And then somebody I knew needed a phone number. And guess who the only person I knew that had this phone number was? Damn Fred, you know? And I was like, oh, I tried everything to get this phone number. I couldn't get the phone number. So eventually I just thought, okay, Susanna, suck up your pride. And I contacted Fred. I sent him a WhatsApp, like very casual. Hey, it's been a long time. Listen, I need this dude's number. Can you send it to me, please? I'd really appreciate it. Wishing you all the best, Susanna. Nothing. I wasn't surprised, but, you know, a girl can hope. And then I thought, okay, why has the universe brought this into my lap now? What is it doing? Because if you pay attention, the universe is always guiding you to your highest self. And so I sat there and I thought, okay, what is it doing? What is it doing? Okay, I've been blaming him for the last year. I've been really awful and said horrible, horrible things to him. But I'm not blame-free, am I? I chickened out of our relationship before he chickened out of our relationship. I was a coward before he was a coward. As within, so without. And so as much as I needed to forgive him, he needed to forgive me. And so I wrote, writing is amazing for forgiveness, guys. Letters, write to people. Even if you don't deliver the letter, it's a great cathartic process. It's really good to get things out. If somebody's passed away and you don't feel like you can contact them, it's a great, great tool. Anyway, I sat with this and I wrote him a WhatsApp, and this time I came from a vibration that was completely different. I said, hey, Fred, I'm so sorry. I said, I get that what happened a year ago was huge. And I reacted terribly and you reacted terribly. And we both did horrible things that I'm sure you wish you could take back. I know I wish I could take it back. And I hope that you can forgive me and just know that I'm tired of carrying this with me because I've been carrying it for a year. So if you could forgive me, I'd really appreciate it. And I'm so sorry I contacted you and asked you for something without having this conversation first. But it was for a friend of mine and he really needs this number. So if you could help me, that would be great. If you don't feel like you can, that's fine too. I just wanted to extend my apology and hope that you would do the same. And then I switched off my phone and I did a meditation. I meditate a lot. And I went into this meditation and I did a clearing exercise where I severed and burnt away all the nasty cords that had been binding us together throughout this time. And I replaced them with love and compassion and gratitude for what he had brought into my life. And then I pictured myself getting a WhatsApp saying, hey, great to hear from you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I forgive you too. And here's the number. And I swear, I finished that meditation and I switched on my phone. And that WhatsApp was in my phone. In fact, I actually recorded a video straight away because I couldn't believe it had been so instant. You know how Robin always teaches that, you know, as soon as you actually release without expectation, do your best, be in the correct vibration, things just happen. They can happen instantly like that. This was proof of it. I can teach the meditation at another time. I'm on a time limit tonight. But the point is that I'd been carrying something, he had been carrying something, and in that moment, I realized that, oh, that's how he met me, by the way. See, I was like kind of pretty and long hair, and then he met that. You'd also freak out, you know? Put the shoe on the other foot. I don't know what you guys are carrying. Oh, I was pretending to be Kim Kardashian because I had ulcers in my mouth, so my lips were swollen. But I realized that to forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that that prisoner was you. There's a story about two monks and they're walking by a river and they come across this woman and she's trying to cross the river and she says, please help me cross the river, I can't get across. And the old monk, without a second's notice, he just picks the woman up onto his back and he carries her across the river. I might have a slide. Yes, I do. Okay, so, and he carries her across the river. But the young monk is very upset about this. You see, the monks made a vow never to touch a woman. And so when the old monk gets back across the river and they start walking again, he says, he starts babbling and boiling. You know how it goes. When you cross with someone, all those feelings bubbling and boiling inside you. And eventually, hours pass, and eventually you can't take it anymore. And he says, I'm sorry, but we made a vow. And you went and picked up that woman, and you touched her, and you carried her across the river. And the old monk looks at him and he says, my son, I put that woman down ages ago. Why are you still carrying her? Think about what you're carrying. Change is either desired or needed or prompted by the universe, or sometimes all of the above. Pay attention to the signs. And sometimes the signs come within you. Often they come within you. Sometimes somebody pops into your head and you go, I hate that happened with that person. Anybody feel that? Can anybody really put your hands up if you can relate to that? And the ones of you that aren't putting your hands up, you're lying. You need to look at your shadow. The second thing is, ask yourself, sorry, it says 1 and 1, it should say 1 and 2. Ask yourself, if you're holding on to this, if it's serving you in any way. Is it serving you in any way? Or are you holding on to the past, which is actually stopping you from living in the present, in the now? 3, stop plating the blame. Plotting the blame. Stop putting the blame, stop playing the blame game and find compassion. That's what I was trying to say, guys. Okay, stop playing the blame game and start finding compassion for both sides. Remember, there's no right or wrong. There's simply my perception, your perception, and the truth in the middle. I don't know, most of you will be in relationships of in fact, all of you are. I don't know if you've heard of the imago therapy, but also fantastic. Look into the imago therapy. And what imago therapy, one of the things that it's based on is that there is no right and wrong. There's your perception and my perception, and somewhere in the middle there's truth. And when you can stop blaming someone and you can come to them from a place of wanting to understand, I always say, listen to understand, not to respond. There's another saying that's similar to that. But listen to understand, not to respond. If you bring that energy and vibration into your conversations, I can promise you that your life will change dramatically. Just that simple little thing. Decide you're going to do your best to resolve the situation and then just do it. This is my 21st birthday. I had an all-girls party. That's why my dad is dressed as a woman. A medieval woman. Before my 21st, I didn't really have a dad because, as I said, I was abused when I was little. I grew up very, very lost, and I met this fantastic human being when I was 4. But he came into my mother's life, and I thought he was incredible. He played guitar. I thought like Bob Dylan. My mom said he sounded like a drowning cat, but at the time, you know, it worked for me. And he rode bikes, and I thought he was super cool. But we never bonded or connected, and because of the abuse and everything that was going on, I grew up feeling very isolated, and like I didn't have a dad, you know, like a dad, somebody who looks out for you and actually looks for your best interests. And so I went pretty wild, and yeah, I was the girl on the bar counters feeding everyone tequila, you know, and imitating cartoon characters for drinks. Anyone else? No, okay, just me. Anyway, when I was 20, something shifted, and I didn't know what it was, but I was very grateful. I suddenly started being more included. I felt like I was more included. And on my 21st birthday, Rob stood up in front of my family and all my friends, and he said, I don't have many regrets in life. But when Susanna was 6 years old, she came to me and she said, Robbie, can I call you Dad? And I said, no. you've got your own Father. And I'm standing here in front of you all today, and I'm saying, please call me Dad. And like I'm boiling up now, like you are, so that's part of you. Everybody was in tears, you know? And me being the love monster that I am, I was like, yes, I've been waiting for this my whole life. And I attached myself to him, and I have never let go. I got the best 21st birthday present in the world. I got a dad, and not only any dad, I got the best dad. And when I talk about starting my life over when I was in hospital and I was like an infant again, I couldn't function, he was there. He was sitting by my bed. And I'd never experienced that. It's never too late, guys. You just got to decide that's what you got to do and go and do it. And you know what? If it doesn't work out the way you think it's going to work out, at least you'll know you tried. You know? So you won't be carrying it anymore. You'll know you did your best. Oh, that's me at 6. I thought it was ballerina. So the last point is surrender to the outcome. Remember that when you forgive someone, I love words, ask Robin, I'm always like pulling words apart. When you forgive someone, you give them the gift of freedom. You are giving a gift for them by forgiving them. Don't you love that? I love words. Is that it? Oh. So yeah, that's my story, guys. Those are my tips on forgiveness. I hope that they've helped some of you. I hope that you can use some of the information that I've given you. I am
Okay, so we are back. That was my talk on the power of forgiveness and how it has transformed my life. I don't know how many of you who are watching right now that is one of the draw cards for you, but if there's something that you're carrying around with you that is holding you back, that is keeping you heavy, that is not allowing you to move forward with an open, free heart, just say me in the comments below, because I want to just have a gauge on how many of you would like to focus on the power of forgiveness and going through a process like that, because then I can figure out whether to do that as a process for you guys. I also just spent a little bit of time looking at your answers. Okay, me. Yeah, I think it's everybody, guys. I don't think it's there is one person that hasn't got something that they don't need to let go of, you know, that they don't need to actually just release. I've also just taken a moment while you guys were watching that to write down the most repeated sort of themes that came up in all of the things that you guys wrote down to me on your feedback about the course. And I would love it if you guys, I've just written them over here in the comments, and I'll do it in the Facebook group as well. But if you guys can just pick your top 5, and you can literally just copy and paste them in the comments below, just so that I know and I can look at those to see what we can focus on the most in the upcoming sessions, because I've been known to add bonus sessions, you know, to things if there's something that my group is needing. But just don't do them as individuals, do them as like your top 5. So just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can type them in there, or you can jump into the Facebook group and have a little think about it and just write them in there. That's totally fine as well. I just want to read me. I had something there. I've worked with the power of forgiveness a lot with a speaker named Michael Wickett, who is amazing. I haven't heard of him, Kyra, but I will definitely look him up. I see a lot of me's. That's great. Marion, thank you all. It's her anniversary, her 21st anniversary. Congratulations, and wishing you another 21 years of incredible marriage. So I'm going to open it up now, guys. If you do have any questions or any feedback, anything you're curious about, now is the time to ask them. We've got about 7 minutes for Q&A tonight. Oh, I tend to talk. If you guys haven't noticed, like, I love to talk. So my sessions are supposed to be an hour long, but I always say an hour plus, because sometimes I feel like you need more information in one realm, and then I just dive in and give it to you guys. So I hope that you are all okay with that. I do understand if you ever need to leave a little bit early, because it is supposed to be an hour long. But I also would just appreciate it when you guys come into this space, if you arrive late, if you can just make sure that you're on mute, that your mic is on mute. I'm happy with your video being on, but just so that you don't interrupt the group, please never feel like you can't join. You can always join, even if you're late. You're welcome to join, but please just make sure your mic is muted so that you don't interrupt the group. And especially because sometimes I'll be called to do a visualization or a meditation, like the one I spoke about in The Power of Forgiveness. That visualization that I went through of the cutting of cords and the healing and all of that and transforming things, that's actually an energetic process that I go through. And sometimes if I feel that that's what the group needs, then I might go into that. And then if somebody comes in late, it kind of interrupts the energy flow. So just let me know that you guys have got that. Just give me a thumbs up that you understand that it's just a respect thing for everyone in the room. So would love to go through that meditation. Okay, so that's something I'll definitely keep in mind for you guys. And thank you for all the feedback that's coming in there. And for those of you that are watching a recording of this, because I know some of you will be, please also put that in the comments on Facebook so that we know where everybody is. That's brilliant. Do you guys have any questions? Okay, meditation, yes, please. Okay, so that is something that you guys want me to do. That's great. But do you have any questions for me? Is there anything you're concerned about? Do you have anything that you want to ask me? You're so welcome to. Also, I did see that a few of you said illness. I would like to know what kind of illness specifically. So I know, Stacey, you said fibromyalgia, but they're saying that it's meningitis. So there's a little bit of lack of clarity around that. But just, yeah, please let me know so that I understand what you guys are dealing with. I really do want to understand. And I see Cherie is saying, I already feel a great energy amongst this group. Yay! I love that. Good. I'm so glad. Who else feels an amazing energy in this group? Because I do. I think you guys all seem absolutely fab. Nicole, I'm sure I know you. Have we met at one of the seminars before? I'm seeing your face and no? Sometimes there's like a little soul connection or something. But I recognize you. Okay. Same, Cherie, I don't have Facebook, but I might be setting up an account today. Good, do it. Set one up, because it really is such a great way. You know what, you don't have to create a public profile for you guys, so that you know, I've got my Facebook page, which is my public profile, and I will post there and I interact with people. And for those of you that already follow me on Thrive Network, you'll know that. But then I've got my private Facebook page, and that is literally just family and all of that. So you can keep it separate. And if you just create one so that you can be in the group, you don't have to take on friends. That is your right. It is your right to just say, I'm doing this so that I can be in this community, because that's a safe space that I want to be a part of. So, Kyra, I hope to be seeing you in the Facebook group because it will be wonderful. And I think there aren't any questions coming in, so that's perfectly perfect, because I just give you guys the opportunity so that if you do have a question, that I'm absolutely here to help you. I had meningitis, which gave me a huge list of awful side effects: CFS, chronic pain, arm and leg weakness, headaches, digestive issues, dysprasia, confusion, sharp moods, poor concentration, neck pain, wrist pain, painful skin, fibromyalgia, memory. Wow, those are a lot of symptoms. Sure, those are a lot of symptoms, Stacey. Gosh, I know where you are. And chronic pain is it's just one of the most awful things. And then coupled with all of those things, and I was actually looking through a folder today in preparation for tonight, and I'd forgotten my skin. My hands swelled so much that my skin actually peeled because it cracked my skin. My skin actually was peeling all over my hands, which is so, there's weird things that happen in your body when you've got multiple different things. I'm so sorry, Stacey. That is a hell of a lot to be dealing with. I hope that you find some comfort and direction within this course. I really, really do. And you're welcome to just send me an email if you need some extra support or anything. What is the name of your technical person? The name of my technical person is Susanna. I'm kind of learning everything on my own. I'm the technical person. I need a technical person. If you know anyone who wants to be a part of the Thrive Network and wants to do it because they believe in my mission to empower and celebrate and educate as many people as possible, please let me know. We are looking for volunteers, so please let me know. But at the moment, it's just me and Wendy. And so we tend to try and figure everything out on our own. I'm so fed up with tablets. Oh my gosh, I totally get that as well. I was so tired of tablets. At one point, I was taking 21 tablets every morning and every night, and then another handful in the middle of the day. So I so get it. I'm so sorry, honey. I also have chronic allergies. Sure. Where are you based, Stacey? Please let me know. Marion, trying to be accepted on the Facebook group. That's why I asked technical person. Okay. With Facebook, Wendy is our absolute hero in that space. So with Facebook, absolutely. Wendy, please will you help Margin? It's not Marion, it's Margin. Am I saying it correctly now? Margin. Okay. So Wendy, please will you help her? She's trying. Won't you just email her? Margin, and Wendy will absolutely help you with that. Okay, Wendy, okay. Wendy is saying, yes, we'll do. Great. Great. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much for being with me here this evening. It was really an honor and a privilege. I'm very excited for next week. Please, if you haven't printed out your Wheel of Life, print it out. If you want to, as I said, laminate it. If not, you don't need to. But I would suggest printing out maybe 2 or 3 if you're going to print them out, because you'll use them for different things, and they're great to kind of have. So yeah, I would do that. And I will see you next week at 11 a.m. Please join the Facebook group so that we can get conversations going there. The first 10 people in the Facebook group to just introduce themselves and just say, hi, this is who I am. This is why I'm here. I'm excited to meet you guys, whatever it is, just to kind of be open, introduce yourselves, put a picture of yourselves, your favorite picture of yourself, just be open. Then please do that. And the first 10 people, the more authentic, the more open and full of love you are, I'm going to pick 10 people and you guys are going to get a bonus. So I did this with my last group just to encourage people to get mixing and mingling and talking to each other, and also to just, be vulnerable. there's so much growth in vulnerability, and there's so much beauty and love in vulnerability. And I really, really encourage it. So this is my way of encouraging it in all of you. I see there are more comments coming through. Super excited for this journey. Me too. This was magical. Thank you, Susanna. Thank you, ladies. Amazing. Appreciate the time and wisdom shared. Absolutely a pleasure. Thank you, gazillions. Enjoy your time with your family in Joburg. Thank you so much. Warmest love. Thanks so much. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring another speaker. Oh no, don't worry. Guys, don't ever worry about that. I am the eternal student. I think I said it to you in the presentation before. I'll say it to you numerous times again. I'm the eternal student. Everybody has something to teach me. Every single person has something to teach me. And then it is always my honor and privilege to pass on information as well. So please never worry about that at all. But his program was the Secret to Peace and Personal Power. Wonderful. I saved my life back in 2003, I think. Prepared me for things I handled very well. Fantastic. Wonderful. And I'd love to know some of the things that you learned that you still use. Please share them with me. Send me an email. I'd love to know, or a voice note or something. I'd love, love, love to know. Can't wait for more. Looking forward to more of this. Yay. There's a link. Great, in the Facebook group. Thank you so much, Susanna. Looking forward to next week. My English is not good. It doesn't matter. It was inspiring and sending love to all of the group. I will prepare. Think about the points. Good. Which email do I send this to? thrive@susannakennedy.com. I will type it in the comments here. thrive@susannakennedy.com. It's there. So if you've got any problems, you can email there. You did get a newsletter, otherwise you wouldn't be online now. And so Wendy is the bomb. She is my right hand, and lots of love to her and gratitude to her for all the support that she gives me behind the scenes. Okay, I'm going to bid you good night. Or good day, wherever you are in the world. May the next week be filled with love and kindness and compassion and joy, and just be gentle with yourselves. I know there's an intense energy coming around, and it is full moon. So just a little tip. Full moon is the perfect time for letting go. And so what I like to think about is, what do I want to release in this next 2-week cycle? What do I want to let go of? What no longer serves me? So sit and just journal a little bit, what no longer serves me, and then sit and just journal, what would that be replaced with? What are the lovely things that you would love to see coming into your life? And take those together and just, I don't know, let them into the universe. So you can tear them up and throw them away, or you can burn them, or whatever it is. But it's just a lovely little ritual of just taking stock of where you are, what you're going to release now, and what you want to bring into your life. So I encourage you all to do that. Okay, yes, it is the perfect time for letting go. Lots of love. Bye for now. See you all next week. Bye.